Good evening to, well, at least here in Italy, good evening. I just wanted to say hello and thank you again for this amazing opportunity, Josiah, to speak about CASA. And I guess to give you guys a little bit of background about myself, I am from Bridgeport, Connecticut, one of the greatest cities in all of the United States of America. And I come from a family of four. I have three younger sisters who are all living in different parts of the country currently and doing a number of really impressive things. And my parents, Rick and Sandy Sherrod, were so integral in my development as a young man. And coming from a very strong family and having so many people in my corner really allowed me to be drawn to this opportunity to be an ambassador for CASA. I think that paying it forward really means putting yourself out there and allowing yourself to impact the life of a child and giving them an opportunity to have some of the same experiences that we, at least some of us, deem to be as normal, and that some of us deem to be, a part of our success. So that's why I joined CASA from the get-go. As Josiah mentioned, I did spend time in New Haven, Connecticut. I am in the southwestern portion I'm from the southwestern portion of Connecticut, but I did spend a great deal of time in New Haven. And during that time, I did realize that there wasn't a lot of interaction between Yale and the greater New Haven community. And I thought that this opportunity also allowed me to utilize some of my influence as an athlete and some of the reach that I've had from playing at Yale to help children from this area. During my time at Yale, I was able to start an organization called Team Sober, which helped to promote a community that allowed kids who didn't want to drink and people who were struggling with underage drinking to have people that could support them and allow them to feel empowered in their decision to not drink. And so we were able to give out different t-shirts that had hashtag Team Sober on the front. And it allowed for us to use our impact again as athletes to make a difference and to make a change. In addition to that program, I have mentored a couple of young men from the New Haven community, one who is at Paul Smith's College in upstate New York, and another who's a sophomore at Central Connecticut State University, also majoring in political science. And during that period of time, I realized that I learned a great deal from interacting with these younger kids. And it's something that every adult has the opportunity to do. There's so much that we can learn from the youth, and there's so many ways that we can give back. And I think CASA encompasses all of the positive aspects of helping a child in their time of need. I'd also like to speak about my concentration in political science, which was in urban education. Mm-hmm. And also being an ambassador with CASA has allowed me to familiarize myself with some of the issues that are plaguing the nation in terms of foster care and in terms of juvenile care. And so for African-American youth, they are 1.8 times more likely to end up in foster care. And they also are predispositioned to go through the school to prison pipeline, which forces them to have situations and moments in their life where they aren't given the same opportunities as the white counterparts. So I think this program also allows me to deal with youth who are at risk, people of color, and that's something that I've tried to dedicate my life to. In addition to some of the things off of the court, I've also was a member of the Whiffenpoofs of Yale, and that was an amazing experience, an a cappella group that allowed me to travel around the world and has also made my experience in Italy for the last 5 years very memorable and something that I've really cherished and embraced. And this isn't just a national problem. This is something that's also taking place globally. And in Italy, I haven't necessarily found any programs that are doing the same work that CASA is doing, but I am hopeful that in the future I can be a volunteer when I'm based in the United States. And I'm hoping that some of you who are watching this can also join in the fight in trying to right some of the wrongs and to assist a child in navigating their decisions. So thank you again, Josiah, for this great opportunity, and thank you again to CASA. work that you guys are doing. And I hope that I can continue to represent and share my influence and make an impact in this community.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Let's now invite Mie to speak. Mie Oni, like Brandon, one of our ambassadors. He originated the ambassador role by offering to be helpful to CASA about 1.5 years ago after he viewed the I Am for the Child video that I hope you all will be able to share in a bit. And he'd seen an earlier one that's really striking called Make a Lifelong Difference. As a Californian who spent just 3 years in New Haven after another year in Connecticut for prep school before entering the NBA draft, Mie's dedication to children here in our state, as elsewhere, is particularly noteworthy. Like Brandon, he was distinguished in high school as both a student and a musician, playing the viola in his case, as well as an athlete. But due to injuries and a relatively late growth spurt, Mie was largely overlooked as a player until his senior year in high school, not seen as a Division I candidate, let alone an NBA prospect. But here he is as a member of the NBA's Utah Jazz. His family believed in him, and extraordinary hard work, focus, and resilience supplemented his natural gifts. Like Brandon, Mie studied political science at Yale. He was also active in campus groups uniting students of the African diaspora in working against violence. So Mie, from your first encounter with the CASA movement through that video, to your efforts on behalf of Utah CASA, and also your role as an ambassador with Brandon for CASA here in Connecticut, please tell us how you see it as a way to channel support for children and social justice.
Hey, Josiah, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for allowing me to be involved. So yeah, I got in, Josiah and I he was telling me about his new role and showed me the video, and I've always had an interest in working with kids and helping out kids, and he offered me a role to be an ambassador for CASA, and I accepted it, and I knew that once I was able to move out of college and really have a new home, I'd be able to active in the community in the local region there. So I've started that with not only with of course with the Southern Connecticut CASA, but with the CASA in Utah, and doing a lot of work for them over there. And basically, I realize the importance of, there's early stages of a child's development, like Dwayne, you were saying, that those stages are so key for us to really help and nurture children, because a lot of times, a lot of situations can get too late for us to mold children. So I think that putting the child first is really important. As my background, my parents, who are actually in here today, they always put me first and put me in the forefront of their decision makings. And I know that a lot of times when I would give up on myself, whether it be with basketball, schoolwork, anything else, that they would always believe in me and see a light in me and tell me to keep going. And I know that if every kid doesn't have that opportunity, a lot of times they can just give up on themselves, turn to negative things. They can project some of the things that they've seen at home, take it out in the real world without anyone there to nurture or mold them. So I think that's really the most important thing that we hope to achieve, that no child gets left behind, that each child is equipped to be great and do something special in the world. So if a kid doesn't get that opportunity or a fair chance, basically, then it's like we might strip of the world from another doctor, another lawyer, another politician, someone that can help make a positive change in this world. So I think that really the main thing is just like having someone that believes in that child. And a lot of children can feel lonely. And I know sometimes, even if I didn't have my parents growing up, sometimes I got bullied in school when I was younger. Kids would make fun of you, this would happen. And just having people to tell you that they love you constantly, to keep pushing, to make sure you stress that academics come first, and also encourage extracurriculars on the time. Like you said, I played viola when I was younger. My parents got me into that when I was 10. I still try to make some music here and there now, so I feel like that has created a basis for me. So a lot of the stuff I like to do now, the main thing I do for work is basically been pushed by my parents. There are a lot of times I remember there's one specific moment in high school when, like you said, I was struggled with injuries and stuff. I got hurt when I was 16 years old, and I told my dad was at the game. It was before I played. I still hadn't played a high school game yet, and I got hurt. I injured my knee pretty bad, and I told him I didn't want to play anymore. I said I was done, that I'll focus on school, everything. And my dad stayed strong, my mom stayed strong, and they just kept encouraging me to say that, no, you're going to come back, you'll be fine. And so it's just that environment and that support was really key for me, because deep down in my heart, I thought without them, I wouldn't have played another game then. I would have been done. I don't know what I've been doing. And I just know them pushing, planning in school, planning out my work, my mom not letting me go to the gym before I finish all my homework. My dad driving me an hour to tournaments, stuff, just little stuff like that. I'm not where I am today without that. So I know that how important that support is for kids. So that's really me having that support is, like Brandon said, is like the impetus for me joining and wanting to be involved, and I'm hoping to be an advocate someday when I'm older and able to really take care of someone and support someone like that. And I just think that it's extremely important. So right now I'm working with like I said, the Utah CASA as well, to just bring kids to games and to our local games, like especially next year, hopefully when we can have fans again, I'll start bringing even more kids to the games, and just having them in the family rooms, having them in the VIP rooms, and just brightening up their day. That might be the only time they get to do something that they really enjoy in months. So if I can do that, I feel like it'll help, as long as I'm helping one person's life, you know what I'm saying, in that regard, where something like that can change someone's life and let them see that, okay, there's something positive out there, that I have something to look forward to. I have something that not everything's going wrong. So a lot of kids are going to think that, why does everything have to happen to me? Why does everything bad have to happen to me? And that's a lot of kids' mindset, until you reverse that mindset by support and showing them that there's something positive they can look forward to and that they can become. So those are really the main reasons I joined. But thank you again, Josiah, for having me and allowing me to be involved. And thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mie. And I'd like to maybe expand on your comment about your own resilience, really nurtured by your parents, among others, because that's something that the CASA volunteers are looking to encourage in the young people they're working with. And why don't we start with Dwayne, and maybe Brandon and Mie would also like to comment a little bit on what have been the responses and reactions of your family and friends so far in discovering your connection to CASA. So we'll start with Dwayne.